This is Live for Love TV. Live for Love TV. Yes, I am.
Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review.
One step more. One step more. One step more. Until you reach your goals. One step more. Save them souls. One step more.
This is Live for Love TV. Live for Love TV. Yes, I am.
Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review.
Be sure to join us next time.
Hi, this is Live for Love TV, 1st of April 2021, and it's not April's Fool, so as you know, Live for Love TV comes straight, comes authentic as we can, and we bring to you what we think will be of interest to most of you. Today we're going to be discussing leadership and why people always say in our community we're lacking leaders. Now, we don't mean we don't have leaders in the house, or we don't have leaders in some of our communities or in some of our religious organizations, but in general, we seem to be lacking leaders. Even in the community in America, you see the leadership seems to dwindle since the 60s into the 70s, and almost no leadership whatsoever unless it's a religious form of leadership. But when we're talking about leadership amongst our community, amongst our people, leadership seems to have disappeared from us. And we've had some great leaders over the past, so that seems to be something we need to address. Some people say whenever we do get good leaders, they're taken out, they're assassinated, or they're incarcerated or something like that. But the truth is that leaders are always there. They're always there because the very nature of what a leader is means that they have to exist. They don't just appear, they may just appear on the scene, but they would have been there for years. Sometimes leaders appear at 40, 30, 20, maybe even 15. You could see a leader may appear at 79 years old, but he would have had to have been there 78 years before to appear at 79 years. So we have leaders around, but for whatever reason, we haven't called them forward. The old saying is, when the pupil is ready, the master shall appear. I think it applies here because I think that we haven't been calling forward our leaders. We've accepted things that shouldn't be accepted in leaders for people who are now speaking on platforms. For instance, we make a joke about, black man time. Well, if you can't keep good time, if you're not synchronized, you can't be a leader. I mean, that goes without saying. You have to be able to be accountable. You have to be where you say you're going to be. And people have to know where to find you when you say that's where you're going to be. So you have to be accountable. So that old joke about time doesn't really matter, and some people even say now time doesn't exist and time is not real, and all this kind of newfounded talk. I mean, I don't know what that means, but to me, time exists because we say it exists. That means it exists. We accept it. It's a measure between two distances. If time didn't exist, Usain Bolt couldn't be at one end, the start line, and a 9.58 seconds later at the end of the line. It measures distance. Can't be in two places at the same time. That means that time exists. So we understand it as a measure of space and time. So it exists, and we need to understand why it's important. Why is it the continent with the worst timekeepers is in the poorest position today? Or why is it the people who take time seriously seem to be in the best position in the world today? So time is important, and it's very important to a leader. There's lots of things that make up a leader. A leader is not somebody who doesn't need other people. In fact, a leader is somebody who recognizes his need or her need for other people. The followers of any leader have to be respected highly by a leader. A leader has to understand that they operate in that position as a seat, but not as a right. So they have to understand that it's the one who cares most about the people that should be put forward as a leader or made a leader. You can't have someone a leader because they're just talented in something, or they talk well, or they behave like, they know it all. That's not a leader. That's something completely different. Some people call that a narcissist. We won't go down that road right now. But in leadership, there's lots of qualities needed for leaders. If you want to understand who you'd make a leader, for instance, you're a leader on a football team. You want somebody who when they turn up, they play centre forward for your team. But when they turn up, the goalkeeper's not there. And nobody else wants to go in goal. Centre forward says, no problem, I'll go in goal. Though he knows he's a great goal scorer, he'll accept management telling him to go in goal. That's the person you make your leader. The person who understands that every position can be filled and every position needs to be filled in order for a process to come together. So leadership is something where people have to humble themselves. Great leaders know how to be in conversations, but not in a conversation at the same time. To listen to everybody in that conversation and speak last. And leaders need to know also when they come, they can't say, well, come to a fork in the road or come to some position in life or some position wherever you are and say, I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. They have to go the way they say they're going and be sure about it. And they have to be sure also to change when they realize they're going the wrong way and not feel any way about that either. That's the position of a leader. In the Bible, it talks about Moses. Moses must have gone round and round, up and down. I mean, there must have been times when his followers must say, where the hell is this man going? But because of his strength of character, because of his care for the people that he was leading, I'm sure he wasn't questioned too often about where exactly he was going. Often leaders have to have a vision that the people who are following obviously don't have, and that's the purpose of leadership. That vision has to be maintained in the mind of the leader, but slowly drip fed to the mind of the followers. Given too much to the mind of the followers, it could be frightening. Sometimes we have got a long way to go. We have to go through a lot of things, and we don't really want to think about those things. But one step at a time, as Live for Love TV loves to say in this intro, one step more. Just keep taking that one step more. Eventually, you're going to reach your goal. So we're not going to shirk on leadership. Live for Love TV is trying to lead the way in some ways towards a vision, maybe a vision that other people can't see yet. But as time goes on, hopefully it will come into focus and everyone will see where Live for Love TV is going. Good followers deserve good leaders, and good leaders always produce good followers. That's Live for Love TV.
This is Live for Love TV. Live for Love TV. Yes, I am.
Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review.
Be sure to join us next time.
Live for Love TV.